I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
he's on
political
Oahu,
signs
I
out
think,
there. That's what.
Yep.
doing
Oh my God, and
something
school's starting
similar to
along
what he
with
did
it.
here.
Yep.
So,
Was some kind of juvenile stuff.
you get yours done
Kevin?
locally.
Okay.
You sign the chamber.
All right.
Chamber.
There's
Are we
one.
gonna do this every month now?
You ready? All right. Go ahead and get started. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum and we'll declare it open. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight, first meeting of August. And I ask Councilmember Sandra Melton if she'll lead us in the pledge and invocation, please.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in prayer. Lord, I just thank you so much for the time that we have together tonight to do the business of the city. Lord, I just ask you to guide and direct each one of us as we make decisions for our city. I thank you for the first responders and every employee here at the city. I ask you to keep them safe and bless them and their families. I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, council, you've reviewed the minutes of the regular city council meeting of July 19th, 2021.
To approve the minutes of July the 19th.
Second.
Second.
Motion in a couple of seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, council. All right, we are to special presentation. Eddie, if you'll come forward. I'll stay up here tonight. Just want to say a few words. I'll come down front.
First of all, I want to thank our council and our mayor and our city leadership for presenting this plaque of 1 year in service or 1 year in Chamber of Commerce here in Sherman for our businesses. The majority of these are small businesses, and it's so important to have a welcoming place that we do here and welcome them for all that they do. And we're excited to be able to hand them a plaque this afternoon. First one will go to Randy Schaefer with Premier Baby Image. Andy, if y'all want to come up. Second one goes to Chico Salon. And the next one goes to O'Brien with Angel O'Brien Design. Our next one goes to Planet Fitness here. Paula. And the next one to Heart of Matter Ministry. I may be out of town today. And our next one goes to RPM Staffing here in Sherman. And I'll let you come up.
Eddie. Tina just came in.
All right.
Tina.
You're here from Heart of Matter Ministry.
Thank you. All right.
Skipped over CBs.
All right, thank you, and thank you to all our business owners. This is, everybody knows, y'all are the heartbeat of our city economically, so congratulations. Thank you for being a part and your investment in our city. All right, we are to citizen comment. Does anyone have anything to speak about regarding any of the items on the agenda this evening? Yep, I got your card right here. You're official.
Yeah.
You can talk for all of us.
Yeah, well, I only got 3 minutes.
And I'll take Bill's.
Put me on the pledge. Well, council, mayor, council members, real quickly, I'm here to announce and proud to announce the receipt of a 4-year grant from the Judicial Commission on Mental Health to fund a position of Community Diversion Coordinator for Grayson County. Grayson County received approval yesterday, and we were able to provide, and we are here to provide details on the position in the event law enforcement wants to consider this before finalizing its budget in regards to training, et cetera. I know the time is short, but I thought it was important that the council hear what is going on. Just so you know, the Commissioners Court, since we got this announced, we got the acknowledgement yesterday. This will be on not tomorrow, but a week from Tuesday's agenda for us to fund this position. So in a nutshell, this 4-year grant funds the expenses and salary of this position for years 1 and 2, 80% for year 3, and 60% for year 4. The bottom line is the Commissioners Court is going to fund this for 4 years to see what we do as a community. Here are the details. This coordinator will work directly for the courts and will bring attention to mental health cases across the criminal justice system in Grayson County to determine the best outcome for that inmate by providing mental health resources for the inmate as opposed to incarceration. The goal is to reduce the jail population, thereby reducing the tax burden on the Grayson County taxpayer. It costs the Grayson County taxpayers $60 per day for an inmate to be incarcerated in the jail. There's more cost-effective ways to do it, and we all pay that fee. This will divert and remove citizens from jail to receive mental health care instead of incarceration. It creates efficiency in the criminal justice system in Grayson County. A person that is moved through the system quicker saves us all money. Finally, it will save taxpayer dollars. These efficiencies and inefficiencies in the criminal justice system in Grayson County will increase the likelihood that someone who needs mental health resources will receive those resources as opposed to coming to Grayson County Jail. I applied for the grant on behalf of Grayson County. However, this doesn't happen without teamwork. So I just want to recognize the district judges, specifically Judge Stoltz, who spearheaded this, Sheriff Tom Watt, who I'll talk about Tom's involvement just again in a moment, and District Attorney Brett Smith, and finally the county commissioners. This was something that the county commissioners got behind. If we can get the state to fund this position on the front end and help us figure this out as we go, I think it's a good use of taxpayer dollars. Finally, the folks throughout the county that just want to recognize and acknowledge TCC, Texoma Community Center, healthcare organization hospital, each healthcare organization hospital supported this with a letter. Grayson County Adult Probation and 4 Rivers. Finally, and most importantly, this does not happen without the leadership of the Texoma Behavioral Health Leadership Team. As most of you know, TBHLT is a very unique partner in this community. Sheriff Watt and Chief Flores were the first co-chairs of this committee. I know that Councilman Teeman serves on their board, and I know that they all joined and appreciate the county's leadership on this issue and bringing this to Grayson County. I've got to go to a summer meeting just up the road, so I'm gonna excuse myself. I'd like to introduce Gail Utter and have her talk about the organization and its impact, and also Chief Watt or Sheriff Watt now, so that he can talk to you a little bit about some of the issues and challenges in law enforcement, so that you have complete. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bill. So, and thanks for the opportunity to be here for just a minute. So the TBHLT is a consortium of many different entities. As you all know, the city of Sherman has been very active in TBHLT, both monetarily and through Sean Teeman's work as well. Denison has been active, Grayson County, the colleges, Austin College and Grayson College, the school districts. Both Sherman and Denison have been very active in this group. Private industry with Douglas Distributing, Eaton, Emerson, Nautilus, of course, has been involved as well. And then a number of other mental health organizations too. But this is really a game changer. This is the culmination of many different efforts, many private conversations, many group conversations, many relationships built around our ability to work together as a community and to bring the mental health issue to the forefront and get lots of parties involved. Tom Watt and Zach Flores have both been key in that, in their leadership. Harry Lemming now, Sean, of course. Barry Phillips is going to be our chair next year. But this is bringing together all of those parties. Brett Smith as well has been very key to this. And talking about what we can do to make it better, more efficient, more cost effective. And by keeping people out of jail who don't belong in jail because of their behavior temporarily, or maybe on a longer term basis, but they need help rather than being incarcerated. So that's the purpose of this jail diversion effort. And this money is bigger than we've ever seen, and it's from out of the area. So we've had substantial support from Texoma Health Foundation, from Wilson and Jones Foundation, from the Oliver Dewey Mayer Foundation, and from Dorset Foundation, and many others. We've worked with Bonham. Bonham is very active in this area as well, and they have their own TBHLT. So this really brings that together, and this is a huge step forward, but it is also an opportunity to continue to work together, to have these conversations with the city and with the city of Denison and the county and private industry, to continue doing things that will be exponentially profitable and impactful for this effort. So with that, thank you for what you will continue to do.
I don't believe I could cover it any better than Gail has. I will say just a couple of comments regarding law enforcement. As Judge Mayer said, it is much cheaper to hurt somebody out of jail that has made some bad choices based on their health status. It does cost $62 a day to have jail. I don't know what it costs to treat them through TCC, but I guarantee it's cheaper than that. Besides that, it keeps us from allocating more resources than we have. This is a regional issue. This is a Grayson County issue. Again, I have to thank the City of Sherman, City of Denison. Don is an outstanding team member on TBHLT. And I look at this as a foundation for the future of the infrastructure, of the mental health care of our community. You have to start somewhere, and place to start. So thank you for your support. Gail, thank you for, the only person she didn't mention was herself. She is the driving force behind the TBHLT. She started it. She continues to be that.
Okay. Thank you, Gail. Also, Gail, before you sit down, I know we talk about mental health treatment as opposed to incarceration, and that's certainly something we'd like to work for. I know we're, along with many other cities in the state of Texas, deal with homeless population that seems to be growing by the week. Is there going to be any type of vehicle in place with this new position to help in those regards, or are we just starting with this first step? Mm-hmm. Yes, right.
They've got to go somewhere. Often have a place to live.
Yeah.
And then they have to have some support that is their advocate and accountable. Oftentimes it's medical. They have to have that culture, that environment that will help them continue. That's a great thing.
Excellent.
And
Thank you.
one of the components of that, the homeless issue, manifests itself through the criminal justice system. We work regularly with Sherman and Denison, but I will give you a very recent example. Just last week, we had worked really, really hard to get a lady out of jail who has mental health issues. Out that she has mental health. She left the jail, went 2 blocks down the street, sat down in a local business, said, "I'm not leaving until you call Sherman PD." Sherman PD tried in vain to get her to leave, ultimately had to arrest her for criminal trespass, brought her right back out, brought her right back. She was out for maybe an hour or two, and then she came right back in. We are working other agencies trying to get her housing issue squared away. So it's a dual component kind of thing there, homelessness, and we believe that this grant will start getting some traction dealing with this problem.
Excellent. Good.
So your counterpart in Denison, Chief Gudgel, Mac's counterpart, called me Friday and said they've had 47 mental health cases this month only, where they had no opportunity to do anything. Judge Phillips called me the next day and told me that we had got. Denison is, again, it's a regional issue. We have to deal with it. Partners reach out to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Appreciate your hard work. Okay. Next item is the consent agenda. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion without discussion unless a council member or citizen requests a specific item be discussed and voted on separately. The consent agenda includes items F6 and G1. Anybody like these separated for any reason?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open public hearing. Linda, if you'll read item E1 for us, please.
First public hearing required by the charter to adopt a budget and provide for the appropriation of funds for operating and capital expenditures for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2021 and ending September 30th, 2022, declaring that this budget will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget by $1,355,000 and 7.6%, and of that amount, $509,000 is tax revenue to be raised from new property added to the tax roll this year, providing a savings, repealing clause, severability clause, and an effective date, providing for the publication of the caption hereof.
Thank you, Linda. This budget will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget by $1,355,000 and 7.6%. And of that amount, $509,000 is revenue to be raised from new property to be added to the roll this year. Robbie.
Yes, so this is the first action on the budget that is required by the charter. It is the first presentation of the draft budget and the budget that will be proposed to you for final action on August 16th. The inclusion of things in this budget are things that we've talked about over the last several months, and beginning with our budget planning meeting, including impacts from the CIP workshop that we had in May, the budget workshop in June, and then the presentation of the pre-draft budget last council meeting. This budget is about $125 million. About a third of that is capital improvement, as we talked about. All of the operating funds, the major operating funds, are at least 60 days of reserves, and it calls for and includes a 4.2% utility rate increase, as was discussed at the last meeting and direction given by the council at the last meeting, and no increase in the tax rate or in solid waste rates. So this is really just a public hearing. The next action would be at the August 16th meeting for you, that we will bring the actual ordinance to you for consideration and adoption.
Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? If not, we'll close public hearing. I don't believe this requires any action.
Yeah, no action on this one.
Continue on, council. Linda, if you'll read proposed resolution 6758, please, F1.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing approval of receipt of a petition from Lackland Grayson County Development, LLC, to create a municipal utility district over approximately 177 acres of land in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of Sherman, Texas, acknowledging the filing of the same petition, finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda. Clint?
This resolution and the next one are part of Lackland Grayson County Development request to do a municipal utility district. They've requested that we consent to this creation. The development is outside the city limits, but is within our ETJ. The water will be handled by the Luella SUD, and the sewer will be individual septic, so they'll have 1 acre lots in this development. And then the roads will actually be county maintained and operated. And so part of the state legislature requires that if you're in an ETJ and you want to do a municipal utility district, you have to get the consent of the municipality that you're in the ETJ. So this first resolution is just authorizing the approval of their petition. And then the second one is the actual consent of the municipal utility district.
Council discussion, questions?
Can we, I move to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. And if you'll read F2 for us, please.
Resolution 6759, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman consenting to the creation of Grayson County Municipal Utility District Number 9, which lies within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the City of Sherman, finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you, Linda.
No, so you've approved the petition that they've requested, and then this item would just be the consenting to creation of the MUD.
I'll move to approve 6759.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Council. F3 for us, please.
Resolution 6760, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of a master development agreement between the City of Sherman and TPJ Properties Limited for the construction of public facilities in the residential portion of the mixed-use planned development known as Heritage Ranch, being an approximate 174-acre residential development along U.S. Highway 82 and between FM 1417 Heritage Parkway and Travis Street in the City of Sherman, Texas. Finding and determining the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay, this is what I'm referring to as phase one of the this Heritage Ranch development. This consists solely of single-family residential development, and as was read, is bounded on the west by Plainview Road, on the south by US 82-ish. And then kind of jogs up there with Canyon Creek or Canyon Grove Drive, and then doesn't quite go to Travis Street there. So this is about 170 acres, again, of single family. They project to be utilizing about 650 lots that will be of varying width. The ask on this, for the city's sake, is really pretty simple. Just kind of distilling it down. Number one is that at some point soon we would create a reinvestment zone that would cover just this area in blue. And there's, while we have talked about a reinvestment zone for the entire tract, we really need to have that as two separate reinvestment zones because of how the MUD is going to work that's been previously approved on this portion. So at some point, probably by the end of the year, we'll bring back to you a project and financing plan for creation of a reinvestment zone here. So that's one, is that we create TERS and that we dedicate 50% of the M&O portion of the TERS towards this MUD and development to help pay for public infrastructure and improvements. The second is a sewer line and lift station that would be, if this is 82, it's 1417's over here on the map. So this line likely would go something like this, with a lift station over on the southwest corner of the tract that would serve the entire tract, the single-family residential and the other part. And then a force main, of course, that would take it to a larger sewer line that runs kind of in this area-ish. So those are the two main asks of this one, so it was pretty simple. We wanted to get this one to the council a little bit ahead of the other one because the working through the details on the other one are going to be a little bit take a little bit longer, number one. Number two, these guys are itching to get started, and having this done allows them to get started in furthering their agreements with home builders. So we wanted to get this master agreement in place, and I want to recognize Ryan and Jason and Tom and the whole crew that helped work on this. I mean, the genesis was them, but we had, of course, our Ryan and Chris Kearney with Abernathy Roeder were the ones that developed the agreement. They worked with Ryan and his attorneys to flesh out all of this stuff. So it's been through the ringer and back a few times, and this is the result of it. And so we're asking for approval of this master development agreement tonight for that reason, and knowing that it would probably be the next 2 to 3 meetings that we would come back with the second master development agreement on the non-single family residential portion of the project.
Thank you, Robbie. Council, any questions or comments on this resolution?
No questions. I move to approve.
Okay,
Second.
motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Who's the
Thank you,
second,
Council.
please?
Linda, I abstained from the vote.
Okay.
One abstention. Thank you, Sean. All right. Read F4, please.
Resolution 6761, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing the purchase of a new 2022 Autocar Expediter ACX 64 chassis, suitable for use as a commercial front-end loader from Chastain Enterprises for the Solid Waste Department through the Texas Local Government Purchasing Cooperative by Board. Finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Kevin, good evening.
This is with the bridge on Heritage. Questions or?
Questions, council, any
I
discussion?
thought we had already approved this one.
I did too.
too.
So,
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion, a second?
Got a second right here.
is it a second one, or is it something that we really have?
This is one that was read.
We talked about it, but maybe we approved the advertising for it.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Who was the motion second? Motion is second. Thank you.
We're not getting two, right?
Okay.
That's what I went to.
We're just wanting to make sure we're not getting two.
You hear that, Kevin? Not
One.
good, too.
Okay.
Okay. So, Linda, if you'll read F5 for us, please.
Resolution 6762, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing the purchase of a new 40 cubic yard Frontier front loader from Bridgeport Manufacturing for the Solid Waste Department through Houston Galveston Area Council, HGAC. Finding and determining the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
At least I understand if we have one part, we gotta have the other part.
That's right.
So I got that.
Second half.
It's gotta be married. We gotta get the
Okay.
job done.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we are to H1, review notice of tax rates as required by the Texas Tax Code. Robbie?
Yes, so this
Review.
is another item required by state statute now that we review this notice of our published tax rates before we actually publish them. And in the past, these two rates were known as the effective tax rate and the rollback rate. Now they're referred to as the no new revenue rate, which is the effective rate, and the voter approval rate, which is the old rollback rate. These two rates, as they're calculated, I'm going to round them just to 3 decimal places instead of 5. 0.460 is the no new revenue rate. 0.523 is the voter approval rate, and what that means is if we were proposing a rate over 0.523, we would have to have voter approval for that. Our rate, of course, is in between those two numbers, a proposed rate of 48.9 cents. So no action would be required of any voter for this since we're right in the smack dab middle of those rates. So there's no action to take on this item, but just know that we will be publishing this notice as required by law at the appropriate time. And if you have any questions, we can talk in detail about the rates, but we're required to present them to you.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, H2, review of the draft capital improvement program, CIP 2021-2026, and set a public hearing for Monday, August 16th, 2020.
Yes, okay, so this is the CIP portion of our budget process. Remember that year one is the only year that is funded for the CIP program. We had a separate planning meeting for this one and went over the projects in detail on that. So this is just the presentation of this draft 5-year program with only year one funded. We would bring back the final CIP for council approval on August 16th, the next meeting. It includes all the things that we've talked about in the past, including those few items that we added kind of along the way. I think it was MLK restrooms and basketball court at Fairview Park. So it's what we've talked about in the past. It's just more formalized now.
Okay.
Oh,
Right. And pickleball.
Okay, so,
So we do need a motion and order, or motion and vote to set the public hearing for August
the
16th.
16th.
move to
Okay.
set the public hearing for August 16th.
Second.
Okay, motion, a couple of seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? August 16th it is. Thank you, Robbie. All right. At this time, we'll appoint, remove, or consider qualifications to board and commissions. We have Animal Control Advisory Committee. Council, what say you?
I say to reappoint Mignon Fowler
Okay.
as board member and get the word out that we need another member to serve on our animal control board. It just hurts my heart that we don't have people coming to serve on these boards that are local, so.
Okay.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We are to media questions. Michael, you got anything? Council comments. Remember who I started with?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll keep on talking about the animal control and the other
Excellent.
boards and commissions that we need people to serve on. We need our citizens to get involved in what we have going on here in the city. And remember us as we go back to school next Monday.
Tried back to school.
No comment?
No comment, Mr. Mayor, on this.
No comment tonight.
I'd just like to say I appreciate all of the businesses who came here tonight to receive your awards. And we're so thankful to have you in the city of Sherman. And for you choosing to do business here, we just greatly appreciate you.
No comment, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. So just a couple of announcements tonight. We're just six weeks away from the 40th annual Sherman Arts Fest on September 18th. We're expecting more than 120 vendors this year, along with live music and activities for the kiddos. Make plans to attend. Also next month, the Sherman Celtic Festival will be moving to Pecan Grove Park on September 25th and 26th. It'll be fun for the whole family, including Highland Games, bagpipe competition, live music on 2 stages, a Viking village, tons of vendors, a kid zone, and much more. Hope you can come out and join us. And finally, the Sherman Chamber of Commerce will be holding their annual legislative luncheon this year at Austin College on October 2nd. This event will be live and in person this year, so be sure and get your ticket at shermanchamber.us. All right, at this time, the City Council will now hold a closed executive session pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act at Section 551.071 to receive legal advice regarding wastewater treatment agreement November 2nd, 2009, and to receive legal advice regarding Pure B City of Sherman versus City of Sherman, case number 421 CB 00049.SDJ in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Texas. Oh, it goes on. At Section 551.087 to discuss Merrily Water Service Agreement and to discuss economic development prospects. So at 5:36, go into executive session. Thank y'all.
We hadn't had the proclamation in a while. That kind of reminds me.
Oh, no, we need a good proclamation, don't we?
I'm telling you.
Just so we don't get rusty.
It fills the time when you think